All right. So Winter Garden. I guess my light's kind of bright. You can't see. By Kristin Hannah. You guys have both not read this, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. It's a historical fiction novel. Do you think that you will read it? I can do spoiler free.
Is it good? What was your rating?
I did A minus.
I might read it.
Okay. I'll do spoiler free. No worries. So this, at first I was like, how is this a historical fiction novel? It didn't seem like it, but then once you get into the book, you're like, oh wow, this is really super interesting. It follows this mom and two daughters. They're adults. The daughters are adults. Their dad dies, which is no shocker in a Kristin Hannah book. So no spoiler there. Their dad dies. They've always been kind of estranged with their mom. They haven't had a close relationship. The mom isn't nurturing or loving. She's like very cold and um, like not approachable. And so now that their dad has passed away, they're like, how do we have a relationship with our mom? Like we never did as children. How do we now? And so they start like looking into her life because they start to realize that they don't really know much about her, except for that her father met her when he was in the war, and she was like in a POW type camp. And when they liberated it, like that's how they met. So the mom grew up in Russia, and you start to just learn about her life. It does like flashbacks from current life to then like her growing up in Russia during, I think it's like World War II type era, and all the hardships she went through. And it's really, the book is like a mystery because you're trying to figure out why she is the way she is, what's true, and why does she have so many secrets. So it's pretty good. And I rated it an A minus because I love the historical fiction genre. You learn so much about what it was like to like live in Russia, grow up in Russia, especially when they were being invaded by the Germans, and the siege of one of like the major towns there, Leningrad, I think it's called Leningrad. That's kind of like where her story takes place, and so I really enjoyed it. Any questions? I'm open for questions now.
Only because I already know this, but did you cry?
I did cry. I did because, and it was so embarrassing. I was on a plane sitting next to Liz, and it's like, just, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't read Kristin Hannah endings in public. I should learn my lesson on like the fourth book now, but I haven't. Um, Very sad.
But
Very,
like good. Like, it was a good ending though, right? It wasn't all depressing.
no, it wasn't. And it wasn't your typical, well, I shouldn't say that. I won't give any spoilers, but it had some twists at the end that I was not expecting, that I wouldn't have guessed. In that were definitely like fiction, like they probably wouldn't happen in real life, but you're like, oh wow, that's really sweet that it ended that way. Yeah.
I feel like the Nightingale one was like that. The ending was like not something that would happen in real life. But
But it's like that's the point of a story, you know? If you're gonna write a fiction book, like why not have a little fun with it and make it like a little unique and just out there. But
Yeah.
cool. So I've read for her Winter Garden, which is historical fiction. We read The Nightingale, historical fiction, and the other one, what is it?
Four wins.
Four Winds. And then the last one I have by her that's historical fiction, I believe, is The Great Alone that Liz got me. So that is going to come up soon. I'll probably read it in a month or so. So there we have
Mhm.
it.
so you would recommend this book?
I would. Yeah. Yeah, it's not as good as Four Winds. I'd say that one was better, like diving into the um like the time period, but still very good. And like especially if you want a quick read, it's like I think 380 pages. And you can just fly through it. It's written very much more like a fiction book, like a novel versus um like historical history type thing. Yeah,
Good. It sounds
cool.
good.
There you have it. Winter Garden, Chris and Hannah.